morning. I'm Erin Lee, Director of Marketing Operations with Bio. I'm here this morning with John Sterling, Editor-in-Chief of Gen. Gen is one of our Premier Plus media partners. We've worked with you for a number of years, so thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We love our partnership with you. So we're here with John today because we're celebrating 20 years of Bio. So from your perspective, why is that an important milestone?
First of all, I have no idea where those 20 years went. I was at the first Bio meeting in 1993, which is down in North Carolina. Back then, the industry was a lot smaller. There were fewer companies, fewer technologies. I don't even remember where the conference sessions were held. I don't know if they were in classrooms or special centers, but the thing that really stands out about that meeting were at least one, maybe two big circus tents, which is where the exhibitors were. Most conferences I'd been to up until then were like this, big conference centers. And I thought that was just such a great setting, very informal, and yet all the vendors were in there and they were very happy. But the whole point was, it was a much smaller industry back then than what you have here today now. And over the last 20 years, I mean, Bio has really grown. But the big things back then were fewer technologies, fewer companies. I don't remember how many people were there at that meeting. I mean, you get thousands now. There were probably a few hundred then, and then those big circus tents where the exhibitors were.
The concept of circus tents is very interesting. Now the exhibit hall is approximately 4 football fields of companies from all over the world.
I've walked it.
So as far as you're concerned, what kind of things are you seeing here that's impressive?
Well, the biggest thing, back in the 90s and through the early years, you watch Bio grow. Back then, recombinant DNA, monoclonal antibodies, some very basic biotechnology tools were what was driving the industry. Since then, we've had things like gene expression, synthetic biology, systems biology, genomics, pharmacogenomics. All of these technologies are represented here at the conference. And a lot of your sessions represent those as well. So again, the biggest thing watching this industry and your meeting grow over 20 years has been the range of technologies covered, the huge number of companies. I remember Steve Burrell said a few years ago, there are about 1,500. It must be over 2,000 now when you think about the worldwide global biotech industry. Gen's a global publication. We cover the whole, the whole industry around the world. And so there's just a huge number of companies and people. So that is the biggest difference. And it's reflected here with the number of pavilions you have from places like China, from France, from Germany. This just didn't exist 20, maybe even, there were a few 15 years ago, but just the scope of the industry and the whole thing has just blossomed.
So as far as our education, you do some great coverage and kind of highlight top sessions to watch every year. So from your perspective, how has the education kind of evolved over the years?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for working with us last year to put on what we called our first Gen 10 Awards. And what we did last year is we solicited abstracts. The meeting was up in Boston from a number of universities in the Boston and greater area. Over 100, 150 abstracts came in. We picked 10. We called them the Gen 10, and they win an award and they were recognized. It was such a success last year, and these are graduate students and postdocs, and these students are just so bright, and the work that they're doing at the graduate level, I am sure biotech and pharma companies are doing this. It is just so advanced. And we had such a success with it last year. We're doing it again tomorrow. Again, we've got over 100, 125 abstracts. Our advisory board plus the editors picked who we thought were the top 10 plus some runner-ups, and there's going to be an award ceremony tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The Gen 10 awards will be distributed, and we'll also acknowledge the runner-ups, and then we're going to have a peer bash.
Where a little bit of a party.
A little party. We want them to mingle, talk about their research, sort of get to know each other, because we really think the future of this industry is with the young folks.
Absolutely.
And from what I've seen here and some of the young students I've talked to, and what we've seen in Gen 10, I think the industry is going to be in good shape.
That's great. I'm excited for the event tomorrow. So in closing, if you could recommend to anyone who's thinking about the convention from a company perspective, why would you recommend people invest in coming to the Bio International Convention?
Basically because everybody is here. You've got companies here, you have academic centers here, you have venture capitalists here. A big area that has grown for Bio over the years is this partnering session. I was by it yesterday. It's huge.
Absolutely.
And biotech is, right from the beginning, it's all about collaborations and partnerships. And you've really grown that segment of the meeting very well. It's a global industry. You have everybody in the world represented here. So if anybody's interested in biotech, from either an academic, a partnering angle, a commercial angle, somebody's here to talk to, so I recommend it highly.
Absolutely, thank you. Thank you, John, for joining me today. We love our collaboration with Jen and appreciate all that you do at the convention. We're really looking forward to another exciting 20 years of the BIO International Convention.